Doaa, welcome to Beauty World. Thank you for being with us. Can you introduce your company to us and tell us the nature of your business?
Well, first of all, thank you very much to you for having us, as well as the entire management and exhibition committee behind Quintessence for allowing us this amazing opportunity to be here this year. Luxe House is a boutique distribution agency that focuses on emerging niche artistic designer brands with reach to the entire Middle East. And we mainly focus on perfume brands, but our portfolio also includes skincare too.
Okay. And what would you say is the most important industry or market that your business is targeting right now?
So the most important industry right now is the retail beauty industry.
Okay.
So mainly the big department stores, as well as the independent boutiques, hotels and spa facilities, for example. So anywhere which is selective, but also is a good representation for the beauty products.
Yeah. And what would you say the latest market trends are that are impacting your business or helping it to grow?
Well, the latest market trend which I hope to see grow is compassion and authenticity in selling, to be honest.
Okay.
So the sort of pushy sales or the aggressive sales needs to diminish, and instead we need something that is a lot more training based, a lot more authentic, a lot more personalized.
Because as a consumer, it's off-putting when you go to a...
Absolutely. So research already proves that something like 70% of customers are willing to make purchases of high quality, of high value, given that they are provided the right customer service. That's for sure.
Would you say that that's a challenge that you face, the education behind the people that you're putting the product into their hands?
I think the market in general is facing a lack of, absolute training that needs to be, drilled down all the way to, the sales staff in order to be able to evoke, the customer's emotions into buying into brands, and not just buying brands or products, but also buying into the legacy that these brands are creating. So at Luxe House, we tend to have a soft spot for the not only the brands, but for the creators behind the brands. All of their struggles and triumphs, and that's actually what we like to voice out and be able to reflect. And it's the reason we also make the selection of brands that we include into our portfolio. So it's definitely the journey of the people. Of the entire teams that created these brands, which we hope to trickle forward into all the way to the customers.
And what would you say are the most important steps that you've taken in the past, we'll say 3 years, to grow Luxe House and grow the business?
Okay, so I would say Luxe House started as a necessity, which soon converted into passion, and that passion converted into drive, and that drive converted into what you see today. So there is a big aspect of authenticity and also being extremely transparent and very, very cooperative on a very personal level, with the partners that we call our family, to be honest. This gives us a lot of leverage and a lot of advantage, in order to be very responsive towards the market, so look at what it is that the customers are looking for, and be able to communicate that directly with the decision makers. And I would say this is what I would consider is our advantage and point of strength as a distributor.
Great. Yeah. And we spoke about earlier the challenges that you faced externally with the business, but what challenges have you faced internally?
Well, the challenges which we face internally, I would say, It's hard to say, but like given our like current setup, we're quite a small team, to be quite honest, and like now having to cater to the amount of precious brands that we present in the market with like equal amount of attention, as well as giving everyone the opportunity to shine in the market. Is definitely, I don't think it's a challenge that is particular to us, but it's particular to all startups in general.
Yes, of
but
course,
it's very
yeah.
important that like you go through this journey in order to step over like these challenges until you are comfortable enough to like expand as a team and expand as a setup. But for now, I would say it's the long hours. But to be honest, like our passion and drive definitely make up for the lack of it.
Okay. And you were talking about a startup and it's a small team and everything. How did it all start? So and why?
Well, very interesting question. To be frank, 4 years ago I was in between jobs, and Luxe House extends from a family business called Tahboub Holding. And so back then, my dad presented, some sort of like a floating contract, let's say, that needed attention. And given that, like I've always seen my dad, being part of this industry. He's actually one of the pillars who shaped the industry to the way it is today, since like 1977 when he came to this country. And I said to myself, why not? Let me take this challenge. I've got nothing to lose. And long story short is that, like myself and my colleague who started at the same day as the commercial director, he started at the same day as I did. We both, had one brand that we focused on, and we created miracles out of it. And from there, we sort of, picked up a reputation in the market, a positive reputation in the market. And very soon, brands were reaching out to us in order to also position them in the market. So one successful case study after the other has contributed to the growth. So what started from, I would say, an office space that was borrowed from a sister company, which was like half of their conference table, is now converted into, half a floor at a major
Amazing.
at a major business tower here in Dubai, and we are extremely humbled and happy with.
That's great.
Extremely humble.
Yeah, and so we're talking about growth. What are your plans to what's your growth plans for 2017? What's it for the future years? Like, how do you see Luxe House growing?
So there's definitely a wave of course, riding the wave of the digital world. So we definitely want to establish, a strong digital presence, of which, we give the brands we present, an outlet which is robust and can reach to a wider customer base. So it's, I would say it's definitely focusing on technology and e-commerce.
Okay. Do you feel like technology is going to impact your business in the next couple of years hugely?
Absolutely. I think CRM is one of the most important things when it comes to the sales cycle.
Yeah.
So that's this is how you really become, your customer, on exactly, what their profiles are like, what they don't like. You can communicate with them, firsthand, and to create such a relationship is extremely important when you are trying to present, brands that are personal in the first place, So, and that's exactly how they need to be, presented. So with a touch of personality and touch of, close authenticity and knowing what the customer likes, in terms of, what is his or her, favorite olfactory, for example. How can we perhaps let them explore other, olfactory creations from other, perfume categories or families. So, things of that sort, that make the sales sphere a lot more dynamic and a lot more personal.
Can you give us an example of a big risk that you've taken or a key decision that you've made that has impacted your business in either a positive or a negative way?
Well, to be quite honest, I think one of the things that set us up, set me apart, personally, is not being afraid to try things. I mean, I'm always open to the idea of failing. Because like succeeding, failing is also a big learning curve.
Yes, for sure.
And you know, you fail the first time, and really, who cares? You pick yourself up, and you know, like
and you learn from it.
You learn from
yeah.
it, and you implement it the next time. You know, like in your next project or job or whatever it is. I think my biggest, you know, like risk element is being open to the idea or to the notion of, you know, falling down, just to pick myself again stronger. And
yeah. So as an entrepreneur, is that the advice that you would give to somebody? Don't be afraid to fail.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Okay.
And just go for it.
Okay. And
listen to your heart.
Yeah. So you're exhibiting at Beauty World.
Correct.
In Quintessence, and how important is that show to you? Like, how important is the show to your business, and how does it help your business?
Well, to be quite honest, since the Quintessence team have approached us to be part of this exhibition, I was sold at the spot. I understood the vision. I understood that this is exactly where, you know, like our brands will have the right environment to be presented in front of the right, you know, like business, well, on a B2B platform. And this was so accurate, and I'm extremely grateful to the opportunity that was, you know, like given to us, and to the result of this exhibition. You know, like the amount of, you know, retailers and markets and customers, and you know, people coming up with, you know, like alternative business ideas, approaching us, approaching the brands that we present. You know, like creating a wave of positive energy that hopefully is going to yield into bigger things was definitely an experience that I absolutely cherish and absolutely appreciate for having been approached to be a part of. And I'm definitely considering to be here again next year, for
Great.
sure.
We hope so. And what other activities do you do for brand awareness, for I don't want to call it promotion, but for people to know Luxe House and people to know your brands?
Well, to be quite honest, we put a lot of emphasis on training our sales force and training our staff. We think that you know, like our sales force are our brand's ambassadors. They are the ones interacting with the customers. So there's a lot of emphasis on that, and there's also a lot of emphasis on creating relationships with, I would say, like expert, like press personnels or bloggers, specific bloggers who belong to microblogging, let me say, because they are a lot more, you know, like focused in a certain, you know, like subjects related to beauty, and they know the material inside out. So these are the kind of, you know, like brand ambassadors that I always seek support from in order to, you know, like voice the brands with the image that it should be associated with it.
Just touching on that, like influencers and bloggers, they're hugely important to your business. Why is that? Well, like,
bloggers and influencers obviously have a very strong relationship with a big segment of the society, a very important segment of the society. They are really, you know, like good at representing, you know, like brands, echoing the ethos that these brands want to present. Of course, given the speciality that they carry, and which is why, you know, like we tend to focus on the micro bloggers, for example, as opposed to the mass bloggers. It's extremely important to us that the bloggers that present us, you know, like are experts on their material. You know, they know the beauty segment that the niche industry, let's say, you know, needs to have a very special treatment, and that special treatment has to come across in every level of promotion, including the influencers and bloggers. So we keep an intimate circle, but to us that's extremely important in voicing out the right message about our brands.
For sure. Okay, Doaa, it was fantastic to
Thank
talk
you
to
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.